everyone. So the Los Angeles Lakers are in a really tough spot right now. Now, obviously, LeBron James is out for the foreseeable future, at least 3 weeks. Very likely it's going to be 4 or 5, because even if best case scenario, he does get the okay and the green light after 3 weeks, probably going to take him a week, a couple days to kind of get his legs under him, kind of ramp up his workouts to get ready to get back on court. Best case scenario, he probably doesn't come back till, like the 29th. Somewhere around like the Bulls game is probably best case scenario, but the Lakers are just too far behind. He might not even come back at all. D'Angelo Russell, they keep pushing him back. Now, he did have a high ankle sprain. I've seen a lot of people say, how bad, could the ankle sprain be? People have all their speculations and rumors and blah, 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 blah. Look, at the end of the day, a high ankle sprain, depending on its severity, which none of us know exactly how bad it is because they never released that information, it could take, some of those sprains take 6+ weeks to heal. So it's not something that, if depending again on the severity, it could be a while before D'Angelo Russell gets back. And last thing you want to do is force him back, and then he breaks his ankle or something like that. And then now what? Now he's going to miss an entire year, and this year may or may not be washed, and you'd like to have him for next year. So I completely understand the idea of like, hey, we don't want to rush D'Angelo Russell back. You don't want to end up hurting yourself because it could do more harm rather than like, hey, let's go try to get some games, let's go try to get some wins, allow D'Angelo Russell to kind of get right, and then when he comes back, we could be off to the races. But in the meantime, we need some help with ball handling duties, right? Lonnie Walker ain't the guy. Austin Reeves, he can in small doses, but you can't really rely on him heavily. Dennis Schroeder, he has his moments and he's good at times, but even him, he's better off as like a bench guard rather than a starting guard. But even then, even when you are starting him without D'Angelo Russell, becomes one of those things where it's like, well, then who's going to be the backup guard? And which is crazy to think that we're in this position when, 3 weeks ago, we had too many point guards. And now we're in the sort of opposite where we don't have any. So of course, the Lakers are trying to find somebody that could come in and help. Problem is, we are very limited with options. And I know a lot of people will say, oh, what about Scottie Pippen Jr.? What about, these young guys? Problem is you can't rely on those guys. Scottie Pippen Jr., he's great. He has a bright future. He's a guy that could be very helpful to this Lakers team one day. He's not the answer right now. He hasn't been in the ins and outs of games, high pressure situations, know what it takes on a nightly basis. And we can't afford to develop and try to rush guys' experience to hopefully maybe throw our hands in the air and pray that he can fill that role. It's the same thing with like a guy like Jay Huff or things like that, right? We're not in a position to take a chance on a guy that hasn't played NBA games, and we're now going to thrust him into a heavy position to which we need to rely on him to really kind of push this team going forward. So what is the other option? You find a veteran style guard that has been through those experiences. Now, any of those guys you get aren't going to be these huge impact players, right? They're not going to be guys that are going to completely change the landscape of the Lakers, but you don't need that. You just need somebody that can come in, kind of fill that void on a 10-day contract or whatever until D'Lo gets back, maybe provide some scoring and a scoring punch. Now, Goran Dragic, he would be ideal. Unfortunately, it looks like he's going to the Milwaukee Bucks. So the Lakers are reported as of today to be looking at Kemba Walker. So this is what was said. I saw this on Yahoo Sports. So sources tell Lakers Daily that the Lakers are considering bringing in Kemba Walker for a workout. The team is looking for another ball handler, with LeBron James expected to miss extended time due to a foot injury. So again, Kemba Walker, I don't hate the idea. I know some people look at it as like, oh, it's like, an undersized guard. It's a 6-foot guard, blah, 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 blah. It's not like we have options. It's not like we have a bunch of guys that we can rely on here to handle the ball. At least with Kemba Walker, he's still 32 years old. He has injury history. He's not the same player he once was. No doubt about that. But he played 9 games for the Dallas Mavericks, and in those 9 games played 16 minutes and gave them 8 points with 2 assists and 16 minutes. That is good. That is solid, right? I mean, this is a guy who has experience, can knock down the three ball. Even just last year, he was still a 12-point-a-game guy, shot 37% from three, played 37 games for the New York Knicks, 26 minutes per game. This is a guy that is a veteran guy that can come in, be a locker room guy, is going to play his role. If he has a night where he has a DNP or something, fine. He'll accept it. He's fine. He just wants to be on a roster. And not just that, but even if D'Lo comes back, he's a guy that can just be the third guard on a night. If he, maybe give him a little burn. If he's hot one night, let him go off. I mean, he did it with Dallas. He had like a 32-point game and single-handedly almost won the game for them by himself. So he is still capable of going off for those big nights. He could be a guy that could come in on a 10-day contract, or even if you want to sign him to the rest of the season just for that insurance, right? Because Dennis Schroeder, he rolled his ankle and he did not look the same in the previous game. So maybe you bring him in, you sign him to that 15th spot, just for the remainder of the season, and kind of have him, even if he doesn't play, just having him as a veteran guy, locker room guy to help with the point guards, kind of help be that veteran voice. That could be really huge, right? And I don't mind Kemba Walker. It's not like he's 40, so he still has enough to where he can play. He still was very effective last season. Again, he's not the same guy he once was. He's not a starting level point guard, right? He was starting for the Knicks last year. He's not that guy. He's a guy that you want to come in sort of like a Malik Monk or something like that, right? You bring him in, he'll go in, he'll get you, 8 to 10 points a game, get you a couple assists, and just kind of keep you afloat. That's what you need. A veteran guy that's been there, that's hit the big shot, that's not afraid of the moment, that can be a guy and just an able body out there. Again, I know some people are going to look at this and go, hey, he's not the answer. It's better than, again, a guy like Scottie Pippen Jr., who is going to come in and has no idea what he's doing. He's going to get killed by these point guards. He's not going to have the experience turning the ball over. You don't think that these experienced teams that are trying to win, that we're going to compete against, you don't think they're going to see him come in and use him as a point of attack? Of course they are. They're gonna abuse him because he hasn't had reps all year. He's not played in the NBA. He doesn't know what it's like on a night-to-night basis for an extended period of time. I don't want to just hand the keys to a kid that doesn't have that experience. I'd rather go with the veteran route of a guy that can come in. If we were a team that was like, trying to stay afloat, and it was like, hey, D'Lo's going to be back in a game or two, let's just bring Scottie Pippen Jr. in. Cool. Why not? If we were in just a better position, but we're not, and we can't really gamble. At least Kemba Walker, what you're going to get with him. It's not going to be anything elite. It's not going to be anything game-changing. He's an undersized guard. But here's the thing. We don't have 15 undersized guards at this time, right? That was the issue before, is we had, Dennis Schroeder, you had, Patrick Beverly, you had Kendrick Nunn, you had all these guys who were all 6 foot, and that was our entire roster, along with Russell Westbrook, Austin Reeves, and it was just like, so all you have are 6 foot guards. It's not the case anymore, especially right now, especially without D'Lo and stuff like that. Even if D'Lo comes back, right? Kemba Walker, probably my guess is he signs like a 10-day contract, something like that. They probably test him out, give him a little run, tell him like, hey man, we just need you until D'Lo gets back. I'm not against it. I don't mind it at all. Is it the greatest choice ever? No. But again, what are other options? What other point guards are out there that you can trust with the ball to make good decisions and to just be a vet type player out there? This is still a guy that has averaged 20 and 5, 20 points, 5 assists, or 19 points and 5 assists, something like that for his career. So this is a guy that has been there, has led a team, that understands what it takes. A guy that's averaged, 25, 26 for a career high for a season. This was a guy that was very capable and had very good big moments. I think that he is a very good, just veteran type guy who can come in and really kind of just provide that security for the Lakers. He's a guy that doesn't have a high turnover rate. For his career, he only averages 2 turnovers a game. And this is counting when he was a high usage guy. His largest turnover rate was his best year which he averaged 26 points per game, and he had 2.5 turnovers per game. That was his best year, and that was in 2018, 2019. So even in his highest turnover rate year, he only turned the ball over an average of 3 times per game. He is, for his career, 2 turnovers a game. That's what we need. We need somebody that could just come in, play off the ball, play on the ball, just run, initiate the offense. Don't do anything crazy. Come in, take care of the ball, protect the ball. That's what we need right now. And I really believe Kemba Walker can come in and be that guy. Again, it's not my favorite choice. It's not something that I'm super stoked for. And I'm like, oh, this is the guy that's going to change the scope of the Lakers. But maybe he does. What if he comes in and he really is like a 15-point-a-game guy and he's giving you 15 and 5? And it's just like, man, okay, we got to find a spot for this guy, right? That's the thing. It's the veteranness. It's the consistency. Can he come in and just be consistent and play a consistent role while our ball handlers are out of the lineup? That's what we need more than anything. And I think he's a guy that can come in and do that in spots. This isn't the same Lakers team, where we had 5-6 foot guards, right? We're in a completely different Lakers turnaround, right? This is not the same roster. We have size now, we have length, we have shooting, we have all those things. Our smallest player now is Dennis Schroeder. Literally. I mean, even D'Angelo Russell's 6'4". So our smallest player now is Dennis Schroeder, who's 6 foot, 6'1", roughly. I think he's listed at 6'2", 6'3", but really he's 6'1". So our smallest player is Dennis Schroeder, who's 6'1", right? Kemba Walker, he's not going to give you much on the defensive end. I understand that. He's not going to give you much. Again, don't expect much even on the offensive end, maybe. But hey, like I said, in limited time with Dallas, he gave him 8 points per game. And Dallas loved him. Dallas liked him. They just wanted to go with the younger route. And then they ended up getting Kyrie and all that stuff fast forward. But that was their goal, was to, hey, we really liked, they released a statement, said, we really like Kemba Walker. We wanted to keep him, but we want to get these young guys developed and go this direction. And then, like I said, now they got the Kyrie situation. So now they're in a different position. When you have a chance to get a guy like Kyrie, you go get a guy like Kyrie. So can't really knock them there. But their whole intention was to keep Kemba, and he was great for them. But again, not, because I know somebody's going to be like, well, why hasn't anyone signed him? Because how many teams need another 6-foot point guard? Not very many, if any at all. But guess what? The Lakers really do. The Lakers need one bad. So that's the hope, is that he can come in and just provide something. I'm not expecting him to come in and be this superstar, but I wouldn't mind seeing him in purple and gold. I really do think he can make an impact, and we'll see. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I pass the question on to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. Do you want Kemba Walker? Do you think it's fine? Yeah, bring him in, 10-day, or whatever. Sign him to a deal as long as he's okay, coming off the bench, doing that thing. It doesn't hurt to just have him come in while D'Lo and LeBron are out. Or are you like, no, keep Kemba Walker as far away? However you feel, whatever your thoughts are, I'd love to hear it. Let me know.